Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very exciting segment today, right here on Australian Indian Radio. Well, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have for you the news update today, and then following on from there, we will also have the Daily India Report. First of all, let's get the news in the 90 seconds.
Rescuers in earthquake zones of Turkey and Syria are running out of time as they frantically dig through rubble for survivors of Monday's quakes. The death toll is climbing quickly. It's now above 7,000 and an estimated 23 million people are affected across the regions. International aid, including extra search and rescue crews, have been arriving throughout the day.
We work around the clock to get the survivor. Will not stop. No, none of our teams will stop at any point. Not the snow, not the cold temperature.
In some breaking news in Melbourne, a watch and act warning has been issued for a large factory fire in the southeastern suburb of Keysborough. Anyone located within 2 kilometres of Olive Grove is being asked to take shelter indoors immediately. Authorities say residents and businesses in the area should close all exterior doors and windows. Advocacy groups are calling on the federal government to increase cost of living support as rising interest rates cause further financial stress. The RBA lifted rates yesterday for the 9th consecutive time, bringing the cash rate up to 3.35%. It now sits at the highest level in over 10 years, with the board anticipating more increases. And the federal government will introduce new legislation today aimed at closing the gender pay gap. The change will see the wage gap of employers with 100 or more workers published on the Workplace Gender Equality Agency website from next year.
So there you are, up to date on Australian Indian Radio, and that was quite a report there on what's happening out there in Turkey. Well, our heart goes out to everyone, and good on all the volunteer workers and the other aid workers who are assisting everyone there. So what about all the Australians who might be trapped in there or stuck in the deal?
Firstly, are we aware of any Australians caught up in this?
Yes, we are. We have a small number of Australians that we're providing assistance to.
Okay, where are they exactly?
Well, they're in several parts of the affected area. There are 10 provinces that are affected, and the President has just declared a state of emergency for 3 months for those 10 provinces.
Okay, and as far as we're aware, and I know it's very hard in these circumstances, Miles, any Australians amongst the fatalities?
Look, I can't go into specific cases for obvious privacy obligations, but look, we are working with local authorities and families to account for a number of Australians, and that process is ongoing.
Okay, I appreciate why you can't give further details, but more broadly, how many Australians are you trying to account for on the ground in Turkey?
Look, it's a relatively small number. We had a small number of calls on Monday. We had a slightly bigger number today, and we were able to locate a number of people. So we are crossing people off our list.
Okay, are we talking dozens or in single figures?
No, we're I mean, in terms of, we're probably talking, in the tens.
Okay, and we wish you and your team all the best in accounting for those Australians on the ground. Just a small number of, sadly, the thousands of people killed in both Turkey and Syria. Miles, can you take us through what help the Australian government is providing officially?
Yes, the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister announced an initial contribution of 10 million yesterday. That is for... Sorry, the phone's ringing in the background. But the 10 million is 7 million for Turkey and 3 million for Syria. The 7 million for Turkey, 4 of that will go through the Australian Red Cross to the Red Crescent Society here, and that will be for urgent items, tents, blankets, food, and 3 million of that is still unallocated, and we're urgently assessing needs and working with partners to determine how best to use that. And in Syria, the 3 million is going through UNICEF, primarily focused on women and girls, and they'll be using the existing humanitarian corridor into northern Syria.
Because it is pretty tricky, isn't it, in Syria, because that country has so many other challenges ahead of this earthquake?
Yes, it is, and that will be an ongoing challenge.
If you see an urgent phone call that you know is urgent, by all means, Miles, pick that up. We can leave this, but listen, we'll keep going in the interim. Are we talking about physical resources, search and rescue teams coming from Australia, or is that still in its early stages?
I think we're considering the options for the unallocated assistance. I mean, as you know, there's a fairly narrow window in search and rescue for survivors. Teams from Europe have been able to get here quite quickly, but obviously we are looking at the different options.
Miles, I'll let you get those phone calls, much more urgent than this chat on air, but really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and I wish you and your team all the best on the ground.
Thank you very much, Michael.
And if you're someone you know needs urgent help, emergency consular assistance is available 24 hours a day. So call the Australian Consular Emergency Centre overseas. The number is plus 612 6261 3305. Within Australia, that number is 1300 555 135.
Very important, those numbers there, because, if we do need any kind of support with the consular services in these circumstances, those would be the first point of contact. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time to go to our Daily India Report.
Welcome to the Daily India Report that brings you reports, interviews, features and more on India and the Indian diaspora. Canadian Foreign Minister Melanchthony and Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar discuss cooperation in the Indo-Pacific and trade at the India-Canada Strategic Dialogue. Canadian Foreign Minister Melanchthony began a two-day visit to India on February 6 and held wide-ranging talks with her Indian counterpart, S. Jaishankar, for the India-Canada Strategic Dialogue in New Delhi. Indo-Pacific cooperation and trade were at the top of the agenda during the meeting of the two foreign ministers. The visit is seen as an attempt by both sides to put bilateral ties back on track after several turbulent years, and focused primarily on Canada's newly released Indo-Pacific strategy that calls India an important partner. After the meeting, MEA in a statement said, India welcomed the announcement of Canada's Indo-Pacific strategy, given the shared vision of a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific, adding that they discussed developments in India's neighbourhood, Ukraine and cooperation in the United Nations. Jolly's visit is particularly significant, as she is due to visit New Delhi again next month for the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting and the G20 summit later this year, but chose to travel to India for a stand-alone visit expected to pave the way for a continued reset in India-Canada ties after a freeze between 2020 to 2022 over a number of issues including attacks on Indian origin people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the Canadian PM Justin Trudeau in June last year and is expected to welcome him for the G20 summit in New Delhi in September this year. India has sent its search and rescue teams along with earthquake relief material to Turkey as rescuers on site try desperately to search for survivors. India has dispatched the first batch of relief material to Turkey aboard an Indian Air Force aircraft as rescuers search through the frigid night, hoping to pull more survivors from the rubble after 7.8 magnitude earthquake killed more than 3,800 people and toppled thousands of buildings across a wide region. Hours after the announcement made by the Prime Minister's office, a team of the National Disaster Response Force personnel with a specially trained dog squad, along with necessary equipment, including an array of medical supplies, advanced drilling machines, and other crucial tools required for the aid efforts, left for Turkey for search and rescue operations. Arindam Bagchi, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, tweeted, India's humanitarian assistance and disaster relief capabilities in action. The first batch of earthquake relief material leaves for Turkey, along with NDRF search and rescue teams, specially trained dog squads, medical supplies, drilling machines and other necessary equipment. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families and wished for a speedy recovery of the injured. Modi also instructed officials to offer all possible assistance in coping with the aftermath of the earthquake. Turkish ambassador to India, Ferit Sunail, expressed gratitude towards the Indian government's assistance and said that a friend in need is indeed a friend. Tens of thousands who were left homeless in Turkey and Syria faced a night in the cold. The quake, which was centered in Turkey's southeastern province, sent residents of Damascus and Beirut rushing into the street and was felt as far away as Cairo. Global energy sector leaders endorse India as the most attractive place for exploration of oil and gas. Global leaders from the energy sector in India and across the world met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi at India Energy Week in Bangalore. They endorsed India as the most attractive place for exploration of oil and gas, with the country poised as a global bright spot. After the meeting, OPEC Secretary General Hatem Al-Ghais said they had an extensive discussion where they listened to the vision laid out by Prime Minister Modi. He said OPEC and its member countries stand side by side with India in helping it to deliver on its vision for the future, and how energy security, affordability, and accessibility play an important role to make this vision a reality. International Energy Forum Secretary General Joseph McMonigal said India can help the world solve the climate crisis with technology and investment made in innovation in the energy sector. SNAM chairwoman Monica de Virgilius said the main takeaways of India Energy Week are the need for new energy, the tenacity of industry, local demand and the attractiveness of India to the rest of the world, which is promising. India Energy Week will continue till February 8th. It showcases India's rising prowess as an energy transition powerhouse. Over 30,000 delegates, 1,000 exhibitors and 500 speakers gathered to discuss the challenges and opportunities of India's energy future. Indian Minister for Home Affairs Amit Shah has reasserted the Modi government's commitment to bring peace to the northeast region of India. Shah made the statement as he began campaigning for the upcoming assembly elections in Tripura state. Amit Shah, the Indian Minister for Internal Affairs, said his party, the BJP, that rules India is committed to bringing peace to the northeast region. He talked about the government's signed peace treaties with militant groups in Tripura. During his address to the Vijay Sankalp rally at Santir Bazar on February 6, Shah said that Tripura witnessed all-round development under the BJP rule during the last 5 years. BJP had defeated the leftist parties and the former Chief Minister of the state after more than 2 decades of continuous rule in the state. He added that BJP is committed to the development of the tribal people across the country and therefore raised the allocation for the development of the tribal people in the union budget. Meanwhile, Trinamool Congress chief and the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee also campaigned for her party candidates in Agartala. Congress, left parties and Tipra Motha are also holding rallies and door-to-door campaigns to support their candidates. Polling for the 60 members assembly will be held on February 16 in Tripura. Indian music composer Ricky Cage created a record as he won his third Grammy Award for his globally acclaimed album, Divine Tides. Indian music composer Ricky Cage has won his third Grammy Award at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards for his globally acclaimed album, Divine Tides, with rock legend Stewart Copeland. With his third Grammy win, Ricky Cage has created history in India by becoming the only Indian to win 3 Grammy Awards. This was announced at the live ceremony held at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, USA. Ricky's previous wins came in 2022 and 2015 for the Best New Age Album for Divine Tides and Winds of Samsara. The music album Divine Tides is a tribute to Vasudev Kutumbakam, the world is one family. Ricky Cage, in a statement, said that he is extremely grateful to have had another opportunity to make his country India proud by achieving this on the biggest platform in the world for music. Ricky Cage is the youngest person from India to have won a Grammy Award and only the 4th Indian. Fursat is perhaps Bollywood's first film shot exclusively on iPhone 14 Pro camera. Starring Ishan Khattar and Vamika Gabi's, the trailer of Fursat, directed by acclaimed Helmer Vishal Bhardwaj, has been released. National award-winning filmmaker Vishal Bhardwaj's directorial Fursat's trailer has been released. Starring Ishan Khattar and Vamika Gabi in the lead roles, Fursat has been entirely shot on iPhone 14 Pro. Vishal Bhardwaj is known for his films Heather, Omkara, Kamine and Maqbool, among others. A unique concept of a time machine where Ishan can look into the future. The film does not feel like it's not shot on a film camera. The trailer of Fursat was shared on YouTube with a synopsis that read, "A tale of time that is waiting to be told. A mystery soon to unfold." Apple and award-winning director Vishal Bhardwaj presents Fursat, a fantasy love story shot entirely on iPhone 14 Pro. Watch Ishan as Nishant in Fursat, streaming now on Disney Plus Hotstar. The trailer looks grand for a film shot on a phone singularly. This is a remarkable feat. A dance sequence choreographed by Shimak Dawar featuring Ishan Khattar can also be seen in the video. Ishan Khattar also shared the trailer of the film on his official Instagram handle and wrote, "Fursat, a Vishal Bhardwaj musical and @Apple short film. Streaming now, link in bio, shot on iPhone 14 Pro." Fursat is a short film made in the feature film format. The 30-minute musical soundtrack has been composed by Bhardwaj himself, with lyrics by Gulzar and vocals by Sukhwinder Singh and Kailash Kher. That's all for this bulletin of the Daily India Report.
And thank you very much, Simran, for that report. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now, let's take a look at some of the functions and events taking place here in Brisbane. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have time for you in this segment. It's been wonderful having your company. Don't forget that at 10 a.m. we'll have the weekly real estate update with Usha Chandra. Until then, it's goodbye from us. We will see you then. And don't forget, yes, the weekly real estate update with Usha Chandra at 10.